Hi everyone, Alchemist here. Today, I'm going to show you how I channel sigils and why I channel them and what's the meaning of sigils and why are they very important to practice the occult. So before I start showing you how I channel sigils, I want to remind you that sigils are just a tool that are used in the occult in order to embody the spirit. For example, tarot is an amazing tool to communicate with spirit, but sigils are amazing to embody the energy of a spirit. If you go to my website, thyself.com, link in the description box below, you can find that I have various and numerous amounts of sigils that serve different purposes. Sigil to attract beauty, sigil to attract success, sigil to invoke demons, sigil for abundance, sigil for protection, sigil for health. I have many, and I keep populating my store with different sigils for you guys. If you want to use them in your practices, you can go there and get them. Because not everyone is good at channeling sigils, not everyone is good at drawing sigils, and not everyone know where to start. So I do these sigils for you and you can go and purchase it easily. It's like a shortcut. It's like, for me, channeling sigils is like a shortcut for you. So you can go and purchase the sigil directly, which you're gonna use in your ritual or your practice if you're not confident with your channeling skills. And on top of channeling skills, you need to be also, you have to be able to draw. You need to know how to draw. So today we're going to do a sigil to communicate with spirits or the ones that you want to invoke in your rituals. Some people call them spirit guides. These are different from demons. I have sigils in my store that are specific to invoking demons. Today I'm going to draw a sigil just for spirits, spirit guides, because spirits can be different entities. Demons are usually supernatural deities or beings that have a very, very intense and supernatural powers. Spirits could be just the spirit of an animal. It could be the spirit of some entity that have never existed as a human being. It could be the spirit of like various beings that have never existed, but in the spirit realm they can help you. They can help you channel messages, they can help you in your life, they can help guide you, send you messages, send you signs, send you the things that you need in your life. You can either take a paper, and usually I like to use black paper like this. You can either take a black paper or a white paper, depending on your preference, and you just start drawing directly whatever comes to you. But to draw sigils, you need to know sacred geometry, you need to know occult geometry, you need to have a certain knowledge of what geometry is and how it works. And I have addressed this in my channel, and I have also another channel called Sacred Geometry, Language of the Universe, where I talk about sacred geometry, occult geometry, and I'm going to address this more and more. So sigils are not usually random. Even though they look like they're random, they look like they're a bunch of just lines or drawings, they're usually not random. They usually have a meaning. Either you start with a blank paper, or like what I have here, you can print out certain basic shapes like this, or like the circle, or the hexagram, or the triangle. And the triangle, you can do it either pointing downwards or pointing upwards, and you can build your sigil around it. These are one of the main basic forms that I love to use for my sigils. Hexagram, of course, a very powerful sigil. It's also in the Seal of Solomon, or the Ring of Solomon that I'm wearing here. One of my favorite shapes of in symbology. It's also a representation of Metatron's cube, one of my favorite sacred geometry shapes. Very powerful shape. I highly recommend you guys to work with this shape quite a lot. Some people also love the pentagram as well, which you can use it as a basic shape as well. I have it in my other sigils that I use. Circle represents the feminine energy. It represents oneness. It represents basically the embodiment of whatever you want to embody. You can have it inside a circle. Hexagram, representation of as above, so below. Feminine energy with masculine energy. Perfect balance and harmony. Number 6, because there's 6 edges, as you can see here. The triangle has 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, that's 6. Or if you connect them here, you get a hexagon, and that's also 6 edges. So we're working here with number 6. Well, towards you, I think the camera towards you, that's number 6. Towards me, it's number 9. And 6 and 9 are actually the same number, which is basically another representation for as above, so below. And you can do your work on this sigil. Same with the triangle here. Triangle, this is a representation of number 3. So basically, 3 is a very powerful number. It's the number of mastery. And you can, to facilitate things for you, have these shapes printed out and then work based off them, make your sigil. Based on these very basic geometric shapes, you can start and then do your sigil from them. But today, the sigil, I'm gonna channel it directly on a blank piece of paper. This sigil, after I'm done channeling it on paper, I'm going to digitally produce it, because all of my sigils on selfalchemist.com are digital sigils. They're digital because they're easier to print out. So usually what I do is I take the sigil and I put it digitally on my store for you to purchase if you need the sigil to use it in your practice or in your rituals. My sigil today. Let me open the portal because I need the help of spirit to channel the sigil. Okay, the portal is open. We have access to the realm of the spirit, and I'm gonna start channeling the sigil for you guys. So here, because the camera is pointing that way, so I have to draw the sigil, or I'm just gonna draw whatever comes to me. So first of all, because we want to communicate with spirit, I'm gonna use one of my favorite shapes, which is the triangle. And then we want to add another one. To add another triangle. To pierce it through here. We want to pierce it through here. And again, whatever I'm drawing here, I did not pre-draw it before, like, oh, I'm just pre-drawing it and I memorized it and then I'm showing it to you guys. This is as raw as it gets. I'm channeling the sigil directly from the spirit realm. I'm drawing without thinking and I'm with all of my knowledge of sacred geometry and that I'm including as well. Here. Okay, so I'm adding some elements of sacred geometry that will embody the spirit that we want to work with, these spirits. Like this form, for example, is going to be the embodiment of the spirit that you want to work with. You have to first of all know what spirit you want to work with, but this form is going to help embody that spirit in the physical reality, because as I keep saying all the time, we are living in the physical reality. That means there has to be an embodiment of spirit in the physical reality, always through a tool. A tool is always necessary. So this is gonna be the tool that's gonna embody that spirit in the physical reality if you want to communicate with the spirit, with your guardian spirit. Okay, sigils usually need to be simple, so I'm gonna add a few more elements and then call it a sigil. Okay. So, okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Spirit. So here we have center. I'm just gonna focus. And again, mind you, the reason why I do this is like a shortcut, because not everyone can channel these sigils and not everyone is good at drawing as well. And some people just have different tools. They channel differently what they do. This is not their forte. This is not something that they're usually comfortable doing. So, roughly, I'm gonna call it. Okay, thing almost there. That when the spirit comes, it's to be there, and to close last but least we're gonna do one. It's the sun. Here. Okay. 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 The sigil ends here. This is it. I was asked by Spirit to stop the work because this is the sigil that's gonna allow us to invoke the spirits and communicate with them. Not invoke with them, communicate with them, but you can use it in your rituals. So this is how it looks like. Let me just show it to you because the camera is pointing downwards this way. And let me show it to you both sides this way. But since I drew it towards me, so this is how actually a sigil looks like. So you can use it either or. You can use it either or. And it's good to always to remember that when I did it, this triangle here for me was to channel in of the spirit realm, of the elements of fire, of the elements of air as well, which we cannot see because it's both the triangle pointing upwards. So the spirit is gonna manifest through this triangle. And then other elements as well that I cannot explain here because that's my portion of the job, that's my work. But you can obviously see, for example, the pentagrams, the triangles that make sense, the writings there, and just the elements, how these elements are gonna allow the spirit to be embodied so you can communicate with them. And that's how I draw usually my sigils. Now, I want just to remind you, the sigils, this, I'm gonna put it again in my store, alchemist.com. Usually you can find these sigils in the section called Initiation Tools. These sigils, when I digitize them, I'm gonna take this one and draw it digitally on the computer, I make it simpler. This is my version of the sigils when I draw them by hand. But digitally I make it the sigils simpler. And why? Why do I make them simpler? It's so you can add your own energy into the sigil. You can, for example, take a pen and write the names of the people you want to include for this spirit to come, or write your desires, write the things you want to manifest. You can write them here, or you can write them here. You can write them inside the sigil, usually with your name in the middle. You can write your name in the middle, or you can write your name here, the name of your lover, your partner here, and then what you want to manifest, you can write it here. That's why I put less writings and I make it simpler so you can work with the sigil. You can easily work with it. If I just have it like full on loaded with my magical writing, then you can't really work with the sigil because my energy is in it. That works only if it's I give you a customized sigil, which I also offer, a customized sigil, which I do based off your name and date of birth and who you are as a person. Then that sigil is complete. It's only for you. You know, it's kind of like I put everything in it that you need to have. But for my other sigils, they're simplified so you can put your energy into them as well. So you can add whatever you want to add onto them as well if you want. If you want. You don't have to, but if you want, you can add your own elements on the sigil. I'm going to show you an example. For example, my sigil for invoking spirits and demons is this. It's actually this one because the pentagram is pointing downwards. It's much simpler than if I draw this by hand. If I draw this by hand, it's gonna be much more complicated. It comes actually in two versions. When you buy it from alchemist.com, it comes with the white background and with the black background like this. This is how it comes. So you can even have this version or this version. But as you can see, the digital versions are much simpler. If you buy the sigil and you're gonna invoke demons with it in your rituals, for example, you write the name of the demons here. If it's 4 demons you're invoking, you're gonna write one here, one there, one there. If it's and you write your name in the middle, you know. So it's kind of like you have a little bit more freedom of adding or customizing the sigil to your ritual in whichever way you want. if it's the name of the demon here, or you have two main demons you work with. If it's Lucifer and Asmodeus, you write Lucifer here and then Asmodeus here, and they're protecting north and south when you're doing your ritual. So you have to think about these elements as well: north, south, east, west, and what goes into, you know, into the elements of the ritual. So a lot of things that you can add in your sigil are your names, the name of the people you want to include in the sigil, the things you want to manifest, the amounts of money you want to manifest, if there's a job, if there's a house, if there's a dream, if there's a dream job, if there's a person, if there's like a quest, anything that you want, you can add that and write it down on the sigil, because energy can be manifested through writing and drawing. If I write here, you know, like something that I want to manifest, it means my energy is being embodied, it's being manifested in the physical reality through the pen, you know. So that's what the sigils are for. It's like whatever I drew here, consider it as spirit, the spirit guides or the spirits that we want to invoke. Consider that this is their code, this is their logo, this is what you need for them to be present. How did I do this? I don't know. I just channeled it. How did I do it? I really don't know. So just like how the hexagram or the seal of Solomon, this beautiful shape, just like how this is the seal of the gods. So when you use this one, it's good, but it's also general. It's very general, you know. You have to customize it so much to make it a sigil that's gonna work. It's very interesting here, as I think I mentioned it in the beginning. When we add the circles here, it becomes Metatron's cube, which is one of my favorite shapes. But then Metatron's cube have more circles. It has one here. That's more the realm of sacred geometry. When you add circles more and more here, and then you connect all of the lines, and then we're talking more about like the sacred geometry realm, right? It becomes Metatron's cube. I'm gonna this sigil, put it digitally within the next week in my store thyself-alchemist.com. It's gonna become a digital sigil for communicating with your spirit guides or with spirits in general, not demons, spirits in general. And spirits can include ghosts, entities that live in the spirit realm, entities that have never manifested as humans before, animals, all of any kind of spirit that you wish to communicate with. You can use this for it. I want to give a little announcement, which is my new book that I'm currently working on is gonna be a book of sigils. It's gonna be a book of sigils, and it's gonna have lots of sigils that you can use for your practices. So I'm working on it. I still haven't decided how many sigils I'm gonna put in there, but it's gonna be loaded with sigils, all of the sigils you're gonna need in your practice. And that's my current work for my second book. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna keep you posted on the progress for it. All right, so this is it. I hope this is gonna inspire you. Create your own sigils or channel your own sigils. Maybe it is your tool, maybe it's not, but I just wanted to share with you the process of how it works. And it's one of my favorite tools aside from tarot. I love drawing sigils, I love channeling sigils and using them for manifestation, for rituals, for anything that I want to intensify physically in my life. I like to use sigils. And I'm gonna proceed on to closing the portal. I hereby declare the portal closed.